A boy finds a glowing orb in his aunt's cellar. Touch it, and boom, he's in 1985. Suddenly he's hanging out with his dad as a kid, uncovering the dark mystery of a vanished friend and a cursed well. But every trip to the past rewrites the future, and one mistake could erase his family forever. The movie begins with Andrew arrived at the old family house with his son Vincent, who was playing games in the car with Andrew and Jean. After Andrew convinces him to get out, Vincent asks if he's going to call his mom to let her know they've arrived. Andrew replies that he won't, because she was the one who sent them away. Vincent insists that isn't true, but before Andrew can say more, Jean comes out to greet them. She hugs Andrew, saying she never thought she'd see him back in their childhood home, then kisses Vincent on the head and calls him Vinny. Andrew quickly tells her not to use the nickname, claiming Vincent is too old for it. Jean doesn't understand why, but she ignores him and calls Vincent by the nickname again. Jean leads them inside, commenting that Vincent has grown tall like his mother. Andrew thanks her for letting them stay, saying it won't be forever. Jean replies that she hopes that means he'll call his wife and fix things, but Andrew says instead it means he'll be finding a new home. As he says this, he suddenly stares at the old well outside, lost in thought. Jean snaps him out of it, and though Andrew claims he's fine, Vincent looks sad after hearing his father's words. Jean then asks Vincent if he's explored the house yet. He says yes, and that he likes it. She tells him that she and Andrew grew up there, but while Andrew left as soon as he could, she stayed because she couldn't imagine leaving it behind. She encourages Vincent to go outside while she makes lunch. As Vincent walks around, he notices the well outside, covered up. Just as he gets close to it, Andrew rushes over, panicking, and yells at him to step back. He warns Vincent never to go near it again, or he'll be banned from the garden. His voice shakes, and he even stammers in fear. Before he can say more, Jean steps in, telling him to leave Vincent alone since she had told him to explore. She remarks to Vincent that she hasn't heard Andrew stammer in a long time, meaning he must be under a lot of stress. She gently advises Vincent not to be too hard on his father. As they both stare at the well, Jean reveals that when Andrew was a boy, his best friend Red disappeared down it. Ever since, Andrew has never been the same, and strange things have happened around the house. After a long moment of silence, they finally go back inside. Vincent keeps exploring the house and finds the wall where his dad and Jean used to mark their heights as kids. He smiles at the markings, then keeps walking until he notices a strange door slowly creak open. Curious, he steps through and realizes it leads to the cellar. He goes down the stairs and tries to turn on the cellar light, but it doesn't work. Instead, he picks up a torchlight lying nearby and uses it to look around. As he moves deeper inside, he notices a glowing light shining not too far away. Walking closer, he sees a mysterious floating globe glowing brightly in the air. Fascinated, he stares at it for a while, before finally reaching out to touch it. The moment his hand makes contact, the globe sparks. Suddenly, Vincent hears voices upstairs. Startled, he leaves the cellar and walks back toward the living room. But as he does, he realizes something is different. The house looks older, as if time has rolled backward. When he gets to the living room, he sees a younger Jean cheering loudly for Andrew, who is busy trying to beat his high score on his favorite game. Vincent freezes, confused by what he's seeing. Jean's mother calls her away, and once Jean leaves, Vincent steps into the room. Andrew notices the stranger and loses focus, failing his attempt at the game. Vincent quickly apologizes, saying he got lost and wandered in through the cellar. Andrew doesn't quite understand but asks who he is. Vincent, now realizing he's talking to his dad's younger self, grows nervous. When Andrew stammers while introducing himself, Vincent hesitantly asks if that was Jean who had just left. Andrew says yes. Looking around the room, Vincent's eyes land on a magazine with the year 1985 printed on it. Shock hits him. He realizes the glowing globe must have sent him back in time. Panicked, he runs straight back to the cellar, ignoring Andrew's attempts to stop him. Vincent quickly finds the globe again, touches it, and desperately wishes to return to his own time. In an instant, he's back in the present day. Breathing heavily, he looks at Andrew and Jean with wide eyes. Both ask if he's okay. Vincent, trying to cover up what happened, says he just didn't sleep well. He then asks Jean if she has ever noticed anything strange in the cellar. Jean replies that she doesn't like going down there, and when she asks if he saw anything unusual, Vincent shakes his head and says no. After finishing his meal, Andrew clears his plate and tells Vincent to help out around the house instead of just sitting with his game. He also advises him to go outside and get some fresh air, saying that when he was younger, he spent most of his time outdoors. Vincent looks puzzled, and Jean makes a face because she knows Andrew is lying. Later, Vincent sneaks back into the cellar and touches the glowing globe again, returning to the past. When he arrives in the living room, young Andrew is still busy trying to break his game record. Vincent knocks to get his attention, and Andrew sees him again. Just then, Andrew gets a cramp in his leg and drops the controller. He quickly asks Vincent to take over. At first, Vincent is unsure, but then he picks up the controller and starts playing. To Andrew's surprise, Vincent is really good. Andrew asks if he's played before, but Vincent insists this is his first time. Curious, Vincent asks how long Andrew has been playing. Andrew says he's been at it since last night and that he had to wait until his parents were done watching TV before he could even start. Vincent then asks what score Andrew is trying to beat. Andrew replies, 41 million. Vincent is shocked by the number. He gives it a try but fails to beat the record. Andrew reassures him, saying not to worry. He has his whole life ahead of him to do it. When the game ends, Vincent suggests going outside, but Andrew frowns and says he'd rather stay indoors and show off his Star Wars collection. They head to his room and Vincent is amazed to see how big of a Star Wars fan his dad was as a kid. They talk more about the game, and Vincent admits he didn't know Andrew liked video games so much. Andrew explains that he wants the world record and would do anything to achieve it because when he's playing, he doesn't stammer. Vincent then says he should head back before his dad gets upset. Andrew laughs and says Vincent's dad sounds boring. Before Vincent can respond, he notices Andrew chewing gum. Andrew explains that he's obsessed with gum and even gives some to Vincent to take home. Vincent takes it, still surprised at this new side of his dad. When Vincent returns to the present, he finds his dad sitting quietly with tears in his eyes. Andrew is holding the phone, clearly about to call Vincent's mom, but at the last moment, he puts it down and doesn't go through with it. He stays there looking broken and alone. Wanting to cheer him up, Vincent walks over and offers him a piece of gum. At first, Andrew tells him to go away, but when he notices the gum, his face changes. He looks shocked and asks where Vincent got it. Vincent quickly lies, saying he found it at a small corner shop that was selling a limited re-release. He hands the gum to his dad again, and this time Andrew slowly takes it. A small smile spreads across his face as he says he hasn't had that gum since he was a boy. He starts telling Vincent about how much he used to love it as a kid. Soon, both of them are chewing, blowing bubbles, and laughing together. For the first time in a long while, Vincent sees his dad truly happy. Just then, Jean walks in and watches them with a warm smile. She tells Vincent he's managed to do something special. He's made his dad smile again after so many sad days. But when Andrew notices her standing there, he quickly gets up and leaves the room, going outside. Jean shakes her head but tells Vincent she's proud of him. The next day, Vincent goes back to the past again. This time, he spends hours with young Andrew. As they play their favorite video game together, Andrew suddenly says he's going to call Vincent Red from now on. He explains that it's a fun nickname taken from one of his favorite movies. Andrew seems cheerful about it, but Vincent feels uneasy. Out the window, his eyes fall on the old well, and a chill runs through him. When he returns to the present, he decides to ask Jean about Red. At first, she refuses to talk, saying the memory is too painful for Andrew, but Vincent insists, saying he needs to know the truth. Jean finally gives in. She explains that the incident happened on the same day she was outside skipping rope, trying to beat her own record. She heard Andrew screaming by the well and ran over, only to find that Red had fallen in. Jean says she also remembers seeing a strange bright light at the well, but it vanished the moment Andrew ran back into the house. He didn't react at all, not until later, when he smashed his game console into pieces. From that day on, she says, something inside Andrew broke, and he was never the same again. The next day, Vincent returns once more to the past. While staring nervously at the well, Andrew asks him if his dad ever lets him stay overnight with friends. Vincent laughs sadly and says no, his dad is far too strict and stubborn for that. He even adds that his dad is just as stubborn as Andrew himself. Andrew grins and says he's starting to like Vincent's dad, but Vincent quickly replies that it's not really something to be proud of. Vincent goes on to say that if only Andrew talked more about his feelings, his life wouldn't be so hard. He adds that maybe if Andrew had opened up, his wife would never have left him, and his family would still be together. Young Andrew doesn't really understand these words, and he just jokes that he'll never get married anyway. Later, while they're playing with one of Andrew's new toys, it accidentally flies out the window and lands right beside the well. Andrew asks Vincent to go get it, but Vincent refuses, saying he doesn't want to go near the well. It still scares him. He tells Andrew to fetch it himself instead. Andrew shrugs and agrees. Before heading outside, Andrew suddenly pauses and asks Vincent what his dad really loves to do. Vincent doesn't understand why he's asking, but Andrew explains. He says if they can figure out what Vincent's dad enjoys most, maybe they could do it together. That way, it could be the first step in finally reaching him. When Vincent returns to the present, he searches for his dad's old broken game console. After spending time fixing it, he carries it to Andrew, who looks stunned when he sees it again. Andrew can hardly believe his eyes. Vincent tells him that Jean once said he never broke the record. He adds that maybe now they could do it together. Andrew shakes his head, saying it's impossible. The console doesn't even work anymore. But Vincent smiles and says he repaired it. Andrew's face lights up with surprise and happiness. Still, he hesitates, saying it would take far too long to even try. Vincent insists that they have enough time, then gently hands him the controller. Andrew begins playing, and the minutes turn into hours. Vincent even dozes off at some point, only to wake up when Andrew nudges him, excitedly showing that he's close to breaking the record. For the first time in years, Andrew calls his son Vinny, just like Gene used to. Vincent smiles at the name. Finally, after a long attempt, Andrew hits a score of 42 million. He has done it. He broke the record. He shouts in joy, hugging Vincent, who cheers with him. For a moment, they both feel free and connected, like nothing else matters. The next day, Vincent goes to the cellar, hoping to use the glowing globe again, but it's gone. Searching outside, he notices it glowing faintly inside the well. When he touches it, he's pulled back to 1985. This time, however, the light from the globe seems weaker, flickering as if it's running out of power. Looking through the window, he sees Gene skipping rope, carefree and young. Then Andrew appears. Vincent thanks him for the advice he gave earlier about letting his dad enjoy what he loves. Andrew shrugs it off, saying it was nothing, and invites Vincent inside for dinner. But as Andrew enters the house, Vincent notices a bright light shining from deep inside the well. His heart sinks. This is the exact day Red disappears. As he looks closer, he realizes Red must have gone into the well because of the globe. Now Vincent faces a terrible choice. If he climbs into the well to reach the globe, history will repeat itself, and Andrew will lose his best friend forever. But if he stays away, he might be trapped in 1985, unable to return home. He freezes, unsure of what to do. Andrew's voice cuts through the air as he calls Vincent again for dinner. Vincent doesn't answer, torn between staying and leaving. After a long pause, he decides not to go into the well. He doesn't want to break his father's heart again by becoming the one who disappears. The globe fades away, leaving Vincent in shock. He realizes he's now stuck in the past. Andrew calls out again, and this time Vincent heads toward the house. Just before he enters, the globe suddenly reappears, glowing brightly one last time. Vincent understands it's his chance to return. Before leaving, he turns to Andrew, his eyes full of emotion. He tells him that he's the best friend he's ever had. He hugs him tightly and says he has to go. Andrew smiles and accepts it without question, telling Vincent they'll see each other later. Then he walks back inside, leaving Vincent with the globe. With one last touch, Vincent is transported back to the present. Relieved, he smiles as the globe fades away for good. When he turns, he finds Jean watching him. She doesn't look surprised, only happy. She says she always knew there was something unusual about the house. Together, they walk inside. To Vincent's surprise, his father is lively and cheerful, cooking in the kitchen. Vincent can hardly believe it. He never knew Andrew could cook. He notices an extra plate on the table and asks who it's for. Just then, his mom enters. She gently touches his hair before heading to help Andrew with the meal. Vincent's face lights up with joy. His parents are together again, and for the first time in a long while, everything feels whole. As he looks toward Jean, they share a smile, both knowing that something mysterious in the house has finally healed what was broken.